And we are live. Hey, everybody. I'm James with my co-host Kaelyn, and this is the MMA Mainstream Podcast. We are here going to talk about some MMA like we always do every week. It's Friday, so you know what's going to happen. That's what's going on. I'm kind of excited this weekend just because there's no UFC this weekend. Like, I love MMA.
Why are you excited for that? I'm disappointed.
I love MMA, yes, but I'm like, oh, break. Oh,
can't keep up with them all.
Great. I can't. I really can't. So I'm gonna miss it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, oh, okay, good. A break. We're gonna have a break now. Good. Okay, and then
I don't like
back
breaks
into
from
it next
UFC,
week.
that's for sure.
Well, you do have Bellator, which is actually going on right now as we speak. Mm-hmm. So we will also be discussing that. So let's do a quick rundown of the UFC card that happened last weekend between Stipe and Francis Ngannou. We'll work our way up.
Okay.
So let's check it out. Let's get up. I took Jamie Malarkey, and that's right. What did he do? He cut the Malarkey.
He did.
Oh man, he clipped Kama Worthy with it was just right there at the tip of the chin, and that was Goodnight Irene. Yeah, I watched it. I watched this fight after the event had already happened, so it's like midnight, and I'm like, looking at my phone trying to watch it. I heard about it though, and I was like, yes. Like he played into all my jokes. I had so many jokes. It was great, and they were all corny. It was dad joke central right there after that.
Yeah, of course. That was a good fight, though. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was cool. That's a good way to start off the main card.
Very much so. This card was a lot better, I feel, in the way of excitement for fights than the previous few fights, or the previous pay-per-view, I should say.
It wasn't supposed to be that way, but yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree.
All right.
That's what I love about these fight cards, though. You never know, and then they start off the fight card with a knockout. That's better than any pay-per-view with no knockouts.
Very true. Very true. Very few times have I actually sat and watched a UFC where it was nothing but decisions. And that was a long night.
What was strange is I noticed how early this fight card ended, and I just realized why, because there was a crap ton of finishes.
That's right. There was a decision on the main card, which is the next fight we're going to talk about, with Jillian Robertson versus Miranda Maverick. Mm-hmm. I watched that fight, and I thought I was expecting more out of Jillian, but Maverick went out and she handled business. She looked really good.
She did excellent in every aspect. Jillian's striking was okay. I think she kind of survived a little bit with that, barely, but most of the fight was on the ground, which was actually pretty exciting because they both were working towards submissions there for a while. But Maverick just looked a lot stronger through all the rounds, especially on the ground.
Yeah, she looked way better in, I feel like, every instance, every part of the fight, she looked really good. So
yeah, pretty solid.
That's why she got the decision. She went out there and she handled business and did an amazing job. All right, this fight now, Sean O'Malley versus Thomas Almeida. That we talked about O'Malley, and he's trying to bounce back, and his striking looked good, but I felt like he was too overconfident in his striking because he tried the walk-off knockout, and
that was still going. I watched that over again, and I mean, he landed pretty clean, but it definitely wasn't over. But he backed off, but the ref didn't stop it, which I think was a good call on the ref. Yeah, I don't know. I think I didn't think that he was out, so I'm kind of glad the referee let it go a little bit. What did you think?
When we see these fights, we feel bad when a fighter takes more punishment than necessary. But if the ref doesn't step in to stop the fight, then the fighter's going to do what he has to do to stop said fight.
Yeah.
So in this case, O'Malley backed off, which, I mean, it's a good thing that he didn't, because Almeida was still good to go, because
Apparently.
they went
Yeah.
to the third round, and then O'Malley finally finished the fight. And that's the thing, like, O'Malley looked good.
Yeah, he did. His striking looked really great.
Yeah, but he just props to Almeida though. He's just tough.
He
Just
was.
super tough. And he
I
couldn't be
know.
put away. And
Yeah.
then finally in the third,
Yeah.
almost 4 minutes in, the fight
Mhm.
was finally ended by O'Malley and his crazy hair.
Yeah.
Props to him.
I liked his little pot leaf he had going on in the back of his head. That was pretty cool. Never seen that before.
I mean, it is what it is.
But yeah, that was a good fight. Definitely thought it was close to being over earlier, but it went all the 3 rounds pretty much, almost. But yeah, no, his striking looked really, really good.
It certainly did. It was weird. Almeida didn't really seem to have anything for him. I was really kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, he's super tough though. That's for sure.
One fight that actually disappointed me was Tyrone Woodley versus the Sente Luque.
It disappointed you?
Because
I mean,
it's
I
it's
was,
Tyrone Woodley. I expected this
yeah,
monster, and we talked about last week. I
yeah.
just expected so much out of him, and it's almost like he's just buying his time before he's like, okay, I'm done. And that sucks. I hope that's not the case, but that's
Mm,
the way it looks.
I don't know. I think that was his last fight on his contract that he had. But I thought that he actually came out looking really good in the very beginning, which he hasn't done in a long time. He was way more aggressive than his previous few fights that he's been. So I was really excited when that started. But yeah. Were you
It
going
did.
for Woodley?
I think I did.
You think you did?
I think I did. Shame on me. Oh
I
well.
wanted to see him win, but I mean, his last 2 fights were pretty boring, and this one, I don't know. I mean, I'm not surprised. What I was surprised is how aggressive he was when he came out when the fight first started.
Uh, yeah, I'm glad he came out aggressive, but
He landed a few good
just
shots too.
yeah, but not enough.
Yeah, not enough.
And so Vicente gets the submission win at 3:56 in the first. And man, when he got him in the it was a Darce choke. When he got
Yeah.
him in it, I was like, really?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's not proficient at jiu-jitsu. Clearly, I'm not saying that. But I was just like, man,
Surprised.
come on, Tyrone, come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on. And
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, but
So
Vicente Luque is a monster though, also anyway.
very
So
much
I'm
so.
not very surprised.
Very
I'm not
much
that
so.
surprised.
Now, the heavyweight title fight between Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou. Oh, 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 that dude. Oh, Stipe. I mean, I felt bad when he rolled. When he went back, he went
Oh,
backwards. It was almost Crow Cop esque when Crow
his
Cop fought
body.
Gonzaga. His body, like he went,
Uh,
oh man, that hurt me just the way he bent. I was like, I hope he does yoga because that would hurt. I hope he
he
stretched.
his body totally just folded up like a chair.
Bad, bad. And I don't think from what I had seen, he hadn't stuck to his game plan. He deviated from it, and that's why he lost. Not only that, but Ngannou looked great. He was very patient. He didn't rush.
Right.
If he would
Yeah.
have rushed, mistakes would have been made. But he took his time. He was very laid back. He knew when to go and when to pull back, and
Yeah.
he looks phenomenal.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying, man, a calm and patient Francis is very scary. He is. Both ways he is.
Oh yes, very much so. Which also because now he's the heavyweight champion, there have been talks about John Jones going up and wait to fight against him,
Yeah.
and then
Did
that
you
will lead.
see all that back and forth crap that he was he was on Twitter. I think it was his Twitter or Instagram or
It's
something.
John Jones being John Jones.
He looked
Got to keep himself out there.
he seemed a little crazy there. Because Dana White wasn't even done with his press conference and he was already responding to the things that he was saying. Like he was watching it live, responding on Twitter to everything. But man, I read through
Yeah.
those tweets and I'm like, okay, man. Like he was starting, one of my friends said that he started to sound like a crazy ex-girlfriend for a while with all those tweets.
Well, he's got to keep himself relevant, you know. Got to keep his name out there. He is the GOAT, yet he probably feels probably lacks a lot of confidence.
Well, did you listen to what Dana White said after? Did you listen to the press
I
conference
did not
after?
listen to the presser.
Because well, Dana White said that he's like, man, if I was John Jones, I'd be moving back down, or I'd be moving down to 85 instead of taking a fight with Francis. But immediately after that fight, Jones tweeted that he wants to fight, but then, as the night went on, he's like, okay, show me the money. And that's when Dana White responded to that, saying that he's like, yeah, he says he wants to fight, but then he won't, negotiate a price to actually do it. And that's what it kind of sounds like is going on right now.
It's a bidding war.
Yeah. Well, I understand that John Jones should get paid what he deserves, at least. Now, what he deserves, I have no idea, because I don't know what he gets paid exactly anyways, or how much he usually negotiates his fights for.
Well, my favorite response to everything was Derek Lewis, who said, I'll do it for $8 million. Shit.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. As it pertains to Jones, I mean, they got to get the money situation worked out because it's John Jones. Dana White
made it sound like that John Jones probably doesn't really want to fight Francis, and that's why he's being so hard to negotiate with now. But also, you could see the other side where he should get paid for doing this also,
Yes, this has been an argument in fighting, not only just MMA, but in boxing and what have you, for a long time. Because even if you go back and look at Chuck versus Tito, that fight took forever to set up. And it's because they wanted to get paid to fight. And it was more on Tito's side than Chuck. Chuck was like, I don't care. I'll go out there and fight whoever.
Because he just wants
on Tito's side, Tito was like, first he was trying to be like, well, we're friends. I don't want to fight my friend. And then it was a money issue. And I thought, for my personal thought on it was always a money issue. And they finally fought. So it's the same situation. Once they get it all figured out and squared away, then they will finally fight. Hopefully it doesn't take 4 years. Hopefully it happens. If it doesn't, we still have Jones at other weight divisions.
It's hard to know what's actually going on because I don't know the exact numbers of what he's gotten paid. I don't know if that's public record or not of what he gets paid. I don't think it is.
I do not recall it. I think it is. It's sponsorships that you don't see how much they get paid. But it is public record, I want to say, when with how much a fighter makes in the UFC. Not for sponsorships.
Oh, okay. So I don't know what the normal going rate for John Jones is anyway, but apparently 8 million is not enough. So
I don't know. He's got lawyers to pay, so I can see why he'd be like, I need more money.
Right. He's probably paying off some bills.
Or a drug habit. I mean, just saying.
I guess so. That makes sense.
And as Notorious B.I.G. said, more money, more problems. But this is a fight that would be awesome. If it did happen, I'm pretty sure Jones would do it because I think
this was the deal. I thought that's what was gonna I thought that was
it's supposed to
happen. Yeah.
But yet, if Jones is holding off because of money, then it won't happen. For now, it's a money thing.
Okay.
So we shall see.
We know he already gained the weight for it, so.
True. And you know what? If that doesn't happen, we got Derek Lewis. He'll do it for $8 million.
Okay. First of all, yeah, we got Derek Lewis also. That first fight was garbage, but maybe a second one would be different. But also, so Stipe's been the champion for a very long time, and he just lost. Shouldn't he get a rematch? What the hell? Not,
After
I don't know if he
getting
wants to. Probably not. But don't you
well,
think they
okay,
should
with
give him
with
that?
Stipe, like let him recover.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
we're a week out from that fight, about a week out from that fight. Um, I think he needs to get healthy, of
Yeah, for
course,
sure. What? Yeah,
and
time off,
then
healthy.
kind of figure out what he wants to do. I think if anything, he should. I mean, most of the time, a lot of fighters do get an immediate rematch. Uh,
I know, but that wasn't even talked about at all. I'm like, wait a second.
because
Like
of how bad he got hit in the face.
right. No, I
Like
understand that. I do.
he folded like an accordion. That
Yeah,
is not the way his body went. That's not supposed to happen like that.
I know.
So if he came back and he fought someone maybe within the top 10 before getting a title shot, if he won said fight, I
I
could see
just,
that.
yeah, okay, but I'm just,
Because he'll probably,
all,
I feel like he's going to have a layoff for a little while.
yeah, I think, yeah, for sure. I'm just surprised how no one said a word of a rematch with him, though, because I mean, it's like he was a champion for so long. Anyone else would
Oh,
want that rematch, whether he does or not. We don't know. But if he did, I think it'd be pretty. I think it'd be kind
that
of
would be the
rude to
next
just
fight to
look
make.
him over completely. And they're already talking about Derek Lewis. It's like, well, okay, the first fight was garbage, and they really wanted the John Jones. Maybe that's going to have some trouble, but not even a word of Stipe coming back for a rematch.
I think it's because we're right out from the fight. Let him recover and then go from there. So
I just
that's
didn't
why
know, like,
probably we
but
haven't
don't.
heard anything pertaining to it.
So Francis is going to fight whoever he wants until then, I guess.
I mean,
Or if
I've
they
just
get
seen him do a bunch of media stuff. So, I mean, that's about it. We don't, until they figure something out, we don't know because there's so many different avenues they could go with it for him being a
yeah.
heavyweight champ. We shall see.
I know Dana White said
But
the Derek Lewis one should happen again.
because Derek Lewis, like, is Derek Lewis, they could pay him not as much money as John Jones
Uh-huh.
and probably still get a really exciting fight because those two go out there and bang.
Yeah.
So you have a pretty good main event right there in itself. Of course, John Jones is going to sell pay-per-views. He sells
Yeah.
tickets if they do have it like that. They are now. Um, so it's just which way do you want to go? Do you want to sit there and wait on Jones, or do you want to have Ngannou defend right away? And it's also Francis' decision too. His belt now. He's the man.
Right. No,
So
yeah,
it's
he's
up
gonna
to
do
him.
whatever he wants to do. I would like to see him fight again as soon as possible.
He didn't seem to take any real damage, so why not?
He can. It's just who's next. If they can't work anything out with Jones, which I think they will, we just don't know when. And then Derek Lewis obviously saying he'll step up and do it. Um, so I don't know. Maybe that Derek Lewis fight will happen.
I feel like that would happen before John Jones.
I thought the
Unless
John
Dana
Jones thing
White's
was
like, yeah,
sealed.
well, unless they just threw money at him and we're like, okay, let's do it.
I just got so excited. I figured the John Jones thing was already locked in, that was for sure going to happen, and that they already had that stuff figured out. Oh,
You would think so.
yeah.
And exciting time to be a UFC fan. That's why I'm glad for the break, darn it. I need it.
1 week.
Need it. All right, now we're going to go to Bellator, which is happening as we speak. I
Mhm.
don't know if the main card it's on Showtime. I'm glad it's on Showtime because when it used to be on Spike, actually I take that back. It's not on quite yet. I think it's going to be on at 5.
The prelim started at
The
3, I think.
Okay, the prelims are probably on. Yeah.
Yeah.
The main card starts at 5. And what tripped me out was this fight right here. Roger Huerta versus Chris Gonzalez. We've discussed this, and you don't know who Roger Huerta is, but Roger Huerta, like,
No.
for a long time ago, he was the new hotness in the UFC. Great fighter, great look, a good looking dude.
When?
And so
What
See,
year?
okay, I'm gonna let you know this right now. What happens when you get old? Years kind of just run together sometimes.
No, I know, I
Oh,
get it.
and so I can't tell you a year because I just don't remember.
You're
I just
talking
remember
10
that
years or what?
over 10 years.
Over 10 years? Okay.
Over 10 years. He was the first fighter, I believe, to be featured on Sports Illustrated on the cover.
Okay.
And then, like I told you, he beat up a football player after the football player hit a woman at a nightclub. The
Okay.
football player was a giant, and he is not a giant. He fights at 155, and he went out there and proceeded to beat the bejesus out of him. It was
Wow.
amazing. It was awesome. It's good times, at least for me, because I love stuff like that.
I know
But
you
I
do.
was really surprised that he is fighting on this card. And his record, he has well over 30 fights, and he's fighting a guy who only has 5 fights. Yeah, the experience, of course, goes to Huerta, but how
How
good is
how old
Gonzalez?
how old is
Huerta,
Huerta
I don't
though?
know how old he is now. I want to say he's probably possibly in his 30s, like late
Okay.
30s, maybe around the same age as me, maybe a little bit younger.
He could
Uh,
be kind of, like a placeholder by now. I don't know, because
Very
that
much so.
happens. That's why I asked. I
Very
don't know how
true.
old he is. Maybe that's the situation that's going on right now.
That could be it, but I feel like that's going to be a tough test for Chris Gonzalez.
But this is a
So
prelim fight. This is
yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen
huh.
it before with Cruz and
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Dominic Cruz and why am I Joseph Benavidez? I,
Yeah.
it happens.
True. Yeah.
All right, now we're going to go to the main card, and we'll just start with whatever order it pops up in. And we have a welterweight bout between Neiman Gracie versus Jason Jackson. I just know Gracie based on the name, so you know he's going to have amazing ground. Jackson, you know
So,
anything about either of these fighters?
I seen him fight like once. I don't know that much about him. Um, but looks like Gracie came in overweight, 176 pounds.
You must have. If it says
Yeah.
176.
Hmm. That sucks.
Um, that does suck. That's probably a percentage of his purse,
I think
but
it's
it
like
is what it
30%
is.
or something crazy like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. Your responsibility as a fighter is to come in at weight. That's your responsibility as
Yeah.
a contracted fighter. And if he didn't do that, then yep, you lose some money.
Hmm.
Um, I really don't know who to take in this fight because unfortunately, I really don't know much about either.
Yeah, it's
I'll
like
take.
Gracie.
Yeah, same here. Just because
Yeah.
of the name. Let's be real. The name.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on. A heavyweight feature fight between Terrell Fortune versus Jack May. Jack May, I know a little bit about. I feel like it's been a long time since I've really heard anything about Bellator. I know they took a layoff right before Christmas,
Yeah.
and
I haven't kept
man,
up with Bellator at all.
yeah, because there's so much UFC.
I know. Yeah, I've been so wrapped up in UFC lately.
So have I. Um, I'll take Fortune in this fight. The heavyweight bout.
Uh,
Both fighters
yeah,
should be heavy-handed.
I'll take him too.
All right, let's keep going. I don't know if this is pronounced the same, but
Yep.
Usman Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov.
I don't know why I see it and I can't like think about it, but I hear it and I'm all, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes. I feel like he could. There is a relation to Khabib, but I forgot there are some other fighters that share the name that
There's a
are related and
bunch.
aren't, and so
I
yeah,
think
I'm
I've
not
seen like
sure.
3 already, aside from Khabib.
He is undefeated, and he's fighting Mike Hamill.
Mm,
Ugh,
I'd say
I
Usman gets that one.
I got to go with the Russian as
Yeah.
myself. I agree with that.
Undefeated still,
He's
yeah.
undefeated with 11 fights. Um, he has the height advantage, and he's Russian. Come on, he fights bears. To me, that's all you do over there. You drink
Yeah,
vodka, you fight bears.
there you
That's it.
go.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I mean, just do that's your thing. And it's cold, which I
Yeah.
actually really dig. I love cold weather, so
You do?
I do love it. Love it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go train out in the snow though. I'm good.
No, I
I'll,
wouldn't
I'll
train
take
out in the
the heat.
snow, but I'd walk out I'd walk to like a doorway and I'd be like, "Oh, look, snow," and then walk back into a warm house.
Yeah.
All right, now we have Kana Watanabe versus Alejandra Lara.
Tell
Nine
me
and
who these
three.
ladies.
I I mean, we know so much about the UFC.
I forget. I
Okay,
know.
here's what I'm just gonna say. We're MMA fans. Yes, that's a given. But the UFC does a really good job in the way that they promote their fighters.
They've taken over everything.
Bellator, if they could get on that same level, would be amazing. Like
I felt
I
like
love
they were for a
the
while. I
embedded
really
show for
felt like,
UFC is great.
yeah, I felt like Bellator was on that track for a while, and then I don't know if I'm just too wrapped up in UFC, but I haven't been too concerned with what's going on with Bellator or have looked forward to very many of the fight cards lately.
Well, at least what we get from Bellator is we get one or two just fights that okay, we know who the fighters are because they competed in the UFC.
Yeah,
With the exception of
ex-UFC
like
fighters.
Michael Chandler and early Eddie Alvarez, because those were the
Right.
guys that were highly touted. And also Joe Soto from Porterville. I knew who he was because he competed in the tournament when they still did the tournaments uh, consistently.
Oh,
But
okay.
the way they do it now, like some of these fighters, you know who the main card is, the main event, but the rest of the card, I'm not quite sure. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's where we're at. That's something that I need to work on. That's for sure. So, do you know anything about these fighters?
I do not. Nope, I don't know them.
All right, to take a wild guess on who you pick.
I'll go with the Colombian girl.
All right, I will take the Japanese girl. She's technically undefeated,
Yeah,
so I'll just ride that. I'll go with that. I'm curious.
we'll see.
This is a fight I look forward to, so I can learn more about them because I'm really curious what their disciplines are really heavily in. Like, is Alejandra really good at striking? Is it ground? What's her thing that she's supposed to be well rounded like most fighters, but there's usually one thing that they are very very good at. So I'm curious what that is for both of these fighters.
I don't know, and I bet the rest of the world knows. We just don't watch it, so we
And
have no
we just don't know. But it's on Showtime. I have Showtime. I'm watching it. I'm excited.
idea.
All right. And then this is the main event, I believe, right?
Yes.
We got Pitbull versus Emmanuel Sanchez.
Yes.
Pitbull is Pitbull. He's the champ.
Yeah. Did you see the first fight with these guys?
It's been a while since I've
Yeah.
seen anything Bellator related.
Oh, okay. Because these guys already fought before, and Pitbull won by decision, unanimous decision. I forgot what the score was, but he's already beat him, but decision though. So I don't know if anything's changed. I'm not sure what to expect out of this again for these
And
two.
Pitbull is just that, a Pitbull. If he beat Sanchez already by decision, so hopefully he'll come out and just be like, I'm going to end this now. I'm going to retain this title. So
Yeah.
I got to take Pitbull on that one.
Yeah, I mean, neither of the I watched the fight recently because I knew they were fighting again. But it looked pretty not like even exactly, but both of them couldn't really get any knockouts or anything like super significant. So I don't know if anything's changed where maybe one of them might get a knockout. I would expect Pitbull to win, but I just don't know how.
Gotcha. Or it could go to decision again, and hopefully Bellator will be like, yeah, we're not going to run that back.
Hey, it'd be cool if Pitbull came to UFC though, wouldn't it?
That would be really interesting. I think that would really shake up the featherweight division.
Yeah, and then I think Dana White also mentioned he was interested in him at one point. I don't know, probably nothing happened with that, but he was already
But
open to the idea. I think that would be cool.
if Bellator can match the money, yeah.
Yeah.
Or actually not, excuse me, not match. Like increase his pay, I think he would stay. But UFC comes a knocking, and this UFC, they don't pay as much. I mean, MMA doesn't really pay as much as boxing. We all know that. But if it's a money thing, yeah, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go back to some UFC news real quick. Leon Edwards is going to take on Nate Diaz at UFC 262. Edwards fought recently against Bilal Muhammad and ended the fight with an eye poke. Do you feel like this fight is a punishment for the eye poke, or do you feel like it's a gift because he's fighting a higher touted fighter?
I would say it's
Nate Diaz.
A gift. I was surprised. I'm like, okay, well, do you think UFC, first of all, do you think UFC is going to give him that rematch with Bilal? Or they're going to give Bilal the rematch to do that fight again? Or do you think they're just going to move on?
I think they're going to move on because if Edwards already has a fight. Okay, how about this? Say Edwards loses. I think they would give Bilal the rematch. If, say, Edwards wins. Nope. On to the next because you have a fighter who's progressing at a different rate.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what the case would be.
I don't know if Leon Edwards is ready for Nate Diaz, though. I don't know.
I mean, he'll have to be by the time he gets there and steps in the cage with them. But, I mean, Nate Diaz is just a different type of cat. Against Edwards, I think he would shoot and go get the takedown and just work his ground game.
That'd be a smart move, wouldn't it?
That would be the best move. And he could also avoid the eye poke.
Ugh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm getting so tired of seeing those.
It sucks, but it happens. Like, I get it.
Yeah, but on a main event, that sucks.
Yeah.
I am surprised that Nate Diaz took this fight. I don't know. Usually, he's all about the money, right? So I'm wondering why he's doing this. Why did he accept this fight? I don't understand. Unless he really thinks that's the fight to make for himself, if that's something obviously he's interested in it, but I always thought he was more interested in how much money he can get or the most like significant matchup, like Masvidal. Of course, that was a great matchup. But before that, it took so long to get him to come back that he said he would only fight what excites him. I'm just curious as to why he's this excited to fight Leon Edwards, that he accepted this fight like this. I don't know.
Well, it's been a minute since he's fought, so I could see that he would want to start getting active again. And that's on that's the same fight card where Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira are going to be fighting for a title.
Oh, that's going to be a great card.
It's going to be a really good card. All right. I look forward to this.
What do you think is going to happen with that one?
With which one?
Diaz and Edwards.
I just say Diaz. Like,
I think so too.
So when Nick was fighting more and Nate was coming up, I didn't care for their attitude. But as I've gotten older, I completely get
it. Yeah.
So I take Diaz all the way.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he could.
Diaz has fought way better competition, so that's why I also give it to Diaz as compared to Edwards. Edwards is building his way up, but Diaz has already been at the mountaintop.
Yeah,
not necessarily as champ, but he's competed against top-notch opponents.
Yeah. I'm excited for that fight card.
As am I. And then other UFC, well, not so much UFC, but a UFC bet. How about that? Anderson Silva is set to face Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in a boxing match on June 19th.
Okay.
I know you're not a fan of these types of as I call them, freak show fights.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think I could really say I don't care about this fight. I am sorry, I don't care. I don't care about this one.
I like Anderson Silva, but I completely agree.
I might not even watch it, to be honest.
I'll watch.
I
won't pay for it. Oh, I won't pay for it.
I won't
I'll watch the
for it
highlights. I'll hear
Right.
about it on
Yeah.
Twitter or social media. I'm not paying for this fight.
Ugh. Yeah, I just wonder why he's doing this also. Money, I'm assuming.
It's
It's gotta
probably a
be.
big payday,
Yeah.
especially Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That's
Yeah,
got
for
to be a
sure.
money fight.
I guess, but how did
I mean, he
this is
ain't
a
his
random
daddy.
fight. Isn't this a random fight? This
I
seems
feel like it's a random fight.
yeah. I never would have guessed a matchup like this. I also thought Anderson was done, but I guess not.
Well, I think he's done in MMA,
Yeah,
but in
yeah.
boxing, it's probably going to be a good sized payday. So that's probably why he's going to compete in it. Which more
Yeah, good
power
for
to
him.
him.
Yeah. I hope it goes okay for him.
I do too. I'm always going to be an Anderson Silva fan.
Right. Yeah, me too.
Um, and he has lost folks. Like before he was on the backside of his career, he did lose. He lost in Pride. He got heel hooked. That was legit. That was a good time. Well, was for me because I like leg locks. But as it pertains to this, it's a freak show fight. I'm
Yep.
curious to see who wins,
Another one.
but I'm not interested enough to pay for it. So,
Yeah.
all right, now
Yeah.
moving on to a different turn this week for an MMA promotion. Combate Americas has rebranded itself to Combate Global, which, okay, so Combates America they've come through Fresno quite a bit. There's a large Hispanic population here.
Yeah.
They've put on some amazing fight cards here.
Yeah, I want
Great.
to say they do it at least twice a year for
Yeah,
sure.
they've done
Yeah.
a really good job. They air on Univision, which is American Spanish TV network, and they just signed a 5-year deal with them, and so they're going to
Wow.
air 30 live events. And wow, actually, excuse me, a total of 150 live events during the 5-year deal. Holy
Wow.
moly, that's quite a bit.
Wow.
So yeah, I do look forward to that
Okay.
because, like I said, I've seen them live. The way they
They're fun.
present the promotion is amazing. They
They
do a
really have a good
really good
setup.
job. Oh
They do.
yeah, and the trophy that they give the tournament winners, I'm
Yeah.
like, can I like? It's not okay. So it's a globe on top. I kind of wish it was like the Stanley Cup because then I'd be like, can I drink out of that? But it's not. It's They just do a really awesome job. They have a lot of younger fighters because I mean, the fighters got to start somewhere, and
Uh-huh.
these are guys that are. It's not. I can't say that it's like an amateur because they're pros,
Right.
but they do have a lot of fighters that are younger and trying to build their way up. So you do see a lot of guys that come out and show a lot of heart when they compete.
I like their
I look
fights.
forward.
I've gone to a
I do
bunch of
too.
them. I like them.
So I do look forward to this. I look forward to them coming back next week, and can't wait to see what they have to offer.
Yeah.
And hopefully, when they can go and do live events, hopefully they come back to Fresno because I'd love to go to one again. That was such a fun time.
Yeah, but I wonder with their name change and rebrand if they're gonna do anything different than what they've been doing already though. Like what's the big change here
I think they're
besides
doing
the
it
name,
because
but
they can bring in global fighters as compared to with a name like that.
yeah,
They did
I
rely
guess so.
heavily on fighters from Latin America, so I think now they can they're more inclusive. They're bringing in everybody.
Yeah,
So
I think that was a good move. That's a good move on them. I like
and it
it.
sets them up for different types of tournaments because one of the tournaments they had here was America versus Mexico. Now this sets them up to do Mexico versus Europe or
Yeah,
excuse me, like Greece.
yeah,
Just a random example, but
yeah.
or Canada versus Mexico or
That's
America
cool. I
versus
like that.
Canada.
Yeah,
America
I like
versus
that.
Canada would be great because I'd be like, you guys beat us in hockey. We're gonna kick your ass.
Yeah,
So I
I
do
think I
look
like
forward
that.
to when they start doing live events again. I do
Yeah.
look forward to that in general. I can't wait till we start getting fights here in Central California, and we can go see people get knocked out for real. I miss
Yeah.
that. I miss seeing someone get put to sleep.
Yeah, I think I read an article. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was the news or something. They said that they are planning on having, indoor concerts and events in April, which I thought was really. I was surprised that it's this soon. I hope that's true, and I hope that's, I hope that comes. I hope that
I hope so
happens
too.
this year.
I do
It's
hope
been
so
a
too.
year without anything, going
I
to
know.
any kind of live events, live shows, fights.
I miss fights. Like I don't mind watching them on TV, but I miss attending a fight
I
because there's something
know.
about a fight night that, oh man,
Yeah.
I
And going to the Save Mart Center is always fun to go watch,
yep,
Combate Americas when they were there.
yep,
Bellator, it was fun. Also,
just
and not even just like MMA, but like Muay Thai also, like no one's been really doing
that would be
any
fun. Yeah.
tournaments here in California, events. I'm really looking forward to the end of April. They're having the USMTO in Arizona, which is the US Opens for Muay Thai. So I'm gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
going to watch that. So I'm super excited, but gotta go all the way to Arizona for that. So
Hey, it's a chance to see live fights. So
yeah,
yeah, all about that.
yeah.
I believe Archie is actually working on the next underground fight series uh,
Tournament.
card. Thank you. Blah. Just mind blank. Sorry, guys. He's working on that as we speak, and I believe they should have registration up pretty quick, so that way guys can get signed up for the next go around. I want to say that takes place in May, so we'll see how fast everything comes together because it took a while for the first one to happen, but it was because they had to work out a lot of kinks. So hopefully this will run a lot smoother. I can't wait for it because the first one was so exciting and it was great. I really dug it.
Any clue as to where this one's gonna be at?
Not quite yet. From
No.
my knowledge, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's going to be held at Halo again because it was really neat having it in the cage, or
Yeah.
if there's going to be a different venue for it. But when I know, I'll let you guys know on the MMA Mainstream podcast. All right, now for the last bit of news that happened this week in MMA. A dude
I already know
lost
what
his
you're gonna say.
finger in a cage fight. I've seen some pretty ridiculous things throughout my time watching and
Yeah.
covering MMA. This is definitely a first. I've heard of dudes crapping their pants. I've heard of dudes puking.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a dude losing a limb.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah.
so
So,
what happened exactly?
the way I understood it, reading the article, was I
Oh,
guess
go back to that
he got
picture.
he had been kicked in the hand,
Oh
and
God.
during some grappling exchanges, right there you go. His finger was gone.
Oh my
And so they
God.
stopped the fight. It was
Ah,
his I want to say his left ring finger. And so they called off the
yeah.
fight.
My
They found
God.
the finger.
Ah.
It was in his glove.
Oh man.
Uh,
Wait. It was in his glove.
I don't know how. It could have been okay. Like looking at it, it could have been caught
Oh,
in a certain spot,
I think it just the top part broke off
or
in the
that
glove.
exactly. Yeah, it could
Yeah.
have been that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
So
that
someone sent this to
happened.
me. Someone sent this to me yesterday, which was April Fool's. I totally thought it was a joke because someone commented said it was a joke. I'm like, oh, it's a joke, whatever. And I didn't look into it any further. Then I kept seeing more articles about it. I'm like, oh my God, that really happened.
Yes, it was legit.
Oh man.
He was taken into emergency surgery to have it reattached.
Wow.
I feel like this is something what we would hear about during the dark age of MMA in like the Ukraine.
Ugh.
Not here. Like, wow.
Yeah, I guess if you
Although,
do get kicked, in the hand, I could see that happening. Could see it
yeah, but
totally just bending back, go to block like that, comes over.
and it
Oh.
did take place in Philadelphia. Crazy stuff does happen there. Okay, it makes sense now. But yeah, that was quite interesting. I'm glad that they found the finger. I'm glad they hopefully it
Oh,
takes
it's
and they're
functional.
able to reattach. Yeah, and it works out. I want to know is
Ooh.
when he recovers, I want to see his next fight. That
Yeah,
would be
well, yeah, I
interesting.
think everyone does now.
Yeah.
Man, what organization was this?
This was CFFC.
Oh, okay. Oh boy. That
Yeah. I
yeah.
really got nothing else. That's why I'm glad we're ending with this because I'm at
Yeah.
such a loss.
Crazy. I've seen broken toes before. Those are pretty nasty looking, like,
Yeah.
but man, I that is such a freak accident. That's crazy.
I've seen some really random stuff through jujitsu.
Oh,
Guys wearing jewelry, and that's why they tell you don't do that.
why the hell would you do that?
Oh,
Why do you need to be told not to do that, first of all?
do we really need to go into that right now? People are. I'll just make it short.
No.
People are dumb.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I see a lot of people do that, like at training, they'll have like earrings on or a necklace. I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's insane.
No. All bad. All bad.
Imagine getting punched in the ear with an earring on. Oh,
That would suck.
yeah. Well,
Or
this
remember,
finger
I don't
thing's a
know if
lot
you
worse,
saw the
but
fight. I don't know if you saw the fight between Kimbo Slice and James the Colossus Thompson. This
I don't.
was wow, I can't remember what promotion it was. It was on CBS because I happened to work there when they aired it, so I was sitting there front and center watching these fights.
Oh,
James Thompson had his ear full of blood, and Kimbo Slice saw it like a target and constantly was punching at it and
ugh,
popped it.
it burst.
It looked like something out of Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh man. Yeah, I
So
can't watch that stuff. Oh my God, yeah, these things happen. I guess.
yeah,
I
that
guess
they
you could
do.
lose a
That's what
finger
happens
also.
when you compete.
Oh my
Oh
God.
man. One last thing I'll say before we wrap up today's show is, as you can see on the banners on the side, Ryan Bader versus Lyoto Machida 2 next week. So we have that to look forward to on Showtime.
Oh, next week also.
Yeah. So we'll probably make our picks then, right before the fights happen, and
Yeah.
we'll go into that more in depth. You got anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think we got it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right. Folks, thank you for joining us on the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James with Kaelyn, and that'll do it for us, and we will see you guys next time.